Well, this is very interesting. So we just did this first purpose and gifts call. It's me, Bevan Bird, with soul2soultalks.com, and Bruce Hughes, and we had some other people also collaborating with us. Yes, please share about that experience. So like we just talked a couple days ago, and then decided to make this call spontaneously, and then we brought a few more people in to collaborate. And I think one person, there was 3 people who wanted to come to receive, right? And one of them showed up, and we worked with that person for the first half hour, and then also with Bruce, because this came out of the earlier thing where Bruce wanted to step more into his purpose. And so we talked, then we thought, well, let's give whatever we want to receive too. Like, let's find some way of collaborating, use our gifts more. It's kind of magical. Anyway, I'll let you share.
It's interesting. At the moment, I seem to be in a slightly altered space from what's gone on. It seemed like when we first got together to do this, that there was a thought of an agenda. And then what I experienced when we got into it was just kind of like a sacred room where a bunch of people who cared, that I'd never met, allowed me to just experience some pain. What came up initially was a bunch of words that said, do this or do that, all from very loving spaces. And my mind initially got slightly annoyed, but my body decided to process it and just watch my mind do it. And what basically came from this space and this honor was a bit of a healing, an experience of just being okay amongst the group, to have a heartfelt moment, to share it not necessarily in words, which I'm doing now, but to share a vibration. And I sometimes think that the words I speak, although they come with love and a want so much to help others, that the words are often just in the way of letting the other have that experience, to feel hurt or pain, but to be there with others who are honoring that. And for me, that was very important in having that experience, because perhaps now, instead of offering people words, I can just feel what they're experiencing it and allow it to be there, and just give them the space to have their own experience and be guided through it by themselves, and start to believe in themselves and in their own healing, rather than someone else offering words that just kind of get in the way.
Yeah, wonderful. Because people were saying like let go and things like that, and then we figured that it'd be more important to have an experience, and so when we, like, as that group, created a space and allow you to be and feel something, like do it now in the moment, rather than saying like here's what to do next, but then you have to go off and do that after later. But like, we create the space, we're patient to do it now. The whole group we care about each other, and then there's that feeling of people helping each other, a loving presence. And that was so important, because you said like that it was difficult for you to let go before on your own, but having multiple people, even just one person creating that space, like holding a space for you to do it, you can just do it then, and then you progress right now in the moment.
Big time. That group energy actually pushed the world aside and allowed that, for lack of a better word, fear come out and show itself. It came into the light all by itself. It demanded, when loved, to show itself. Damn rare, as far as I know.
Well, this is wonderful that we've been able to do this. And then you were inspired, and you've come up with the topic for the next time we meet, and we'll meet next week at the same time and same group, and we can even invite more people who want to do the same thing. And it'll be about abundance. How can we each become more abundant? Everyone who's there, right? Receiving abundance, releasing blocks to abundance. It's a great idea. And also how healers may not value the thing that they're doing, but the reflection of, like, we can show that we're having a difference. Like, just like this little interview right here, you can see how he's telling his story about something that he has experienced a benefit. As that happens over time and he allows more great things into his life, he'll have an even better story to tell about it, which will then, when we hear that, we'll get excited and feel grateful and realize that what we did was valuable. So that kind of idea, he shared that idea too.
And then we can, with that, as I allow some of the pain and worry and fear to leave through the help of others, I start to experience more abundance. As that abundance shows up, I want to share it with those of the same vibration that have helped me go there. And as we each kind of work through this, then we start to share that abundance with others. We go, thank you.
It's going to ripple out.
Yes.
Like we started as this very small group with probably about 5 people there, and it's going to ripple out.
Yes. We're making space. I've made space for something new to come in. If my receptacle is full of stuff that doesn't work, anything that does work just kind of pours off the top. We've let some of the water out of the cap. New water can come in. It can have a different vibration. One of abundance.
So anyone watching this, leave a comment or send me a message or send Bruce a message if you want to be there the next time, so that we can invite you, and so we can have a little bit more of a group of people who have the same intention.
You're on the right track, bud.
Thank you. So are you. Well, thanks for collaborating. Oh, you know what's really cool? Last night, I talked with Rehan Aliwala. He's the founder of the Institute of Peace, and he's in Pakistan. He's very influential. We were friends for a few years. Like I met him at this conference in San Diego in March 2015. So he introduced me to 3 people last night through Facebook Messenger with like a message that goes to 2 people, right? He did that with 3. 2 of them he'd already introduced me to before, right? And so I said, oh yeah, I haven't followed up on this yet. Like I still got to do that and this, right? One of them was new, and I talked with her on Zoom. And so there's a plan to eradicate poverty around the world. This is really cool because a couple of days ago, my girlfriend sent me a thing where it's like, do you want to be the chief experience officer or something of Cancun.com? And it's like, well, do we need more luxury resorts, right? It is easy to just sell luxury goods, right? And it's a business model which is like very long. It has a great longevity. It can be hundreds of years. But the thing is, the middle class is getting squeezed out, and it's like an hourglass kind of thing where you're getting more and more very wealthy people and more poverty-stricken people. It's in the book The Four by Scott Galloway. He says it's never been easier to be a billionaire, but it's never been harder to be a millionaire. That's a problem, right? Where there's this huge difference. So many people without even like good food and water, right? Access to basic human needs. So, and there's that quote, what you do for the least of me, you do for me, right? God says. So like, if we can help people who don't have like food, water, basic care and things like that, that's going to create abundance for everybody. If we can help those people. And so she has a way to do that. So I want to introduce you to her because you're very smart and like, you know, the different skills and everything, how things can go together into it. So she just shared her platform with me last night. And so she wants me to like, she says this town where I am right here could potentially be a place to start with. So I'm going to find out the info about this community, right? Like for example, the water system is it's a bit underserviced. There's no sewage treatment. The roads definitely could be improved. A couple examples, right? There is a medical clinic. I don't know exactly the extent of the services, right? But she asked for like statistics, like population, demographics, employment, and stuff like that, and the resources and potential. And so that's pretty cool. What kind of projects will uplift the community? Like for example, the children's park. Like last time I was here in the first 5.5 months of this year, Lirio like took the initiative to improve the children's park, at least make it safe for the kids to play on, because it was breaking down. It was made out of wood and it was rotting, so we improved it. But that was just a temporary thing. they want to rebuild a better one. You see, the first time they built that park, they didn't take the local people's input into account. So then people don't have buy-in to it, right? So you have to
Yeah.
like involve the local community. It's a couple
Yeah,
things.
they wouldn't go fix it if they thought it was wrong when they saw it falling apart. But if they had been involved and they saw it falling apart, then somebody'd step over there with a few nails.
Well, what I mean is the first time it got built, it was not done with involvement of the community, so it
Exactly.
wasn't what they wanted. All right, and then so it
Yeah.
broken down a bit, we improved it, but the idea of like building something that would actually be perfect for the community, right? Instead of like the outside money coming in and say, okay, we know it's better for these people than they know for themselves. We got to collaborate with them. So that's
Yeah.
what she said. Got to involve them. Yeah,
Vested.
yeah.
Something that came to me here just not too long ago that continues to show up in my mind is, and you might be a damn good central point for it, contacts. We all know 1,000 people. They have these gifts that you're talking about. If we could make a contact list and even put into them the gifts they have,
Right.
that when we need something, we could simply type into the database.
Yeah, we know where to look then, because we can look for that, search, see if we know people with that gift or something to solve that problem or challenge quicker, because they can do it with a gift rather than a logical way that might take a long time. They can do it in a mysterious way that could be instant.
Yes.
Mm.
And we know that we feel cool when we share our gifts. So if someone comes to these people, especially that they don't know, and says, do you mind sharing your gift with me? Both get a buzz.
Yeah.
And now the system has done something, created an imbalance, which is a good thing. And now the water or energy must flow into that to the person who's given can receive in some capacity, and we may not even know it instantly or even how. But as we facilitate these people coming together in some format, they start to realize sooner or later that their gifts are valuable. Somebody's asked for them. Somebody's
Wow.
receiving them.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea. It's almost like inspired from what we just did. But we can do that more, and all of humanity can become purposeful and prosperous, or at least abundant, through that, because we're sharing our gifts and valuing the unique contribution we bring. Because that's what Elisa was challenged with. She was struggling with receiving, and first of all, like feeling good about her gift and the joy of it, and like receiving some kind of energy from it, even though she's changing their lives, right?
And perhaps in that contact list, there could be an area for input. So when someone gets something from someone, the payment, if you will, is to go back in there and share briefly, as possible, what they received.
Mm-hmm.
So the giver then can even go back and read the comments and go, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Definitely the feedback. Because
And
then
then there's a bit of a
I'm
payment
changing
for
all
the
the
gift too.
lives. Sorry. Oh yeah, say that again because I talked over you.
Sometimes what happens when things are given is there's no real payment recognized. And so the receiver and even the giver don't really know there's been a transaction.
Okay.
For it to be recognized, there should be a given, but there should be a form of payment.
Okay.
And the
Yeah,
payment
it's cool if they do that. If they give some feedback back, or they pay it forward. But feedback is really good because that person's getting something back from it, so they get to understand their gift better. They can also
and then we
market
can
their
look at
gift.
it later too. When then I'm looking for something, I can look through the feedback
Yeah.
groups and go, oh, I actually want that as well.
Oh,
Maybe
right.
I
Yeah,
should reach
you're
out
right.
to that person.
Because that's crowdsourcing the description of that person's gifts as well, which is really great. It's collaborative, right? Because if that person just writes what they can do, they may not really describe it very fully. And if more people, like you start, as you share your gifts, because I've experienced this over time, then you expose more gifts, or, it opens up more. But then people use different words to describe how you help.
Totally.
But then now other people searching on those words could then find you, which is awesome.
Yes. Yeah. And it soon becomes a directory of helpers. that when I need people to talk with or share with or are looking for things or ideas, I just simply go into that, type a few words, and oh my God, here's a spiritual character that has helped others in these ways.
Okay, this is very cool. I'm going to see if I can do something about it right now. And also, I think people should be open to receiving money too, but it's
Oh,
not
of
a
course.
requirement. So it's like
Please.
if they
Yeah.
give, then they give with unconditionally. Then the other person afterwards, right? If they go, yeah, I want to put a fee down,
Yes.
or they're like, I want to send them $10 or 150 or $60 or whatever. They can send that after, right after.
Or we can even create that facility for them. If the person
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have a way of receiving via the net or receiving the money, then we can create that avenue for them.
That's a good
The group
idea to
can receive
add.
it and then put
Yeah.
it on to them, so they don't have to know technology at that point.
That's a good idea to add another way, yeah. Because there's PayPal, so you can integrate with PayPal. So then if they want to do it, they can send it, it would go through PayPal. But then if they don't have PayPal or can't use it, some countries can't, they're not allowed to use it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Have some other way with a monetary thing. So then we're creating another currency, but it's built into this system so that on this system you have credit. So if
Yeah.
people pay into it, now you've got a certain level of credit. You could use that for whatever you want. So they
Yeah.
use something of value that's in
We
there.
start creating a bit of a barter system. We start creating a system inside ourselves that light workers can exchange amongst themselves.
We
Like
might
that
want
lady
to
earlier,
talk with,
she didn't want to take $20 from that fellow who
yeah.
wanted to give it to her.
So here we could either create that ourselves, or we might integrate with someone else who has built one. So how would I show you the thing? Yeah.
I'm going to have to take a telephone call here. 1 sec. It's from my doctor.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.